me. So in Chris.
Are we ready? Kids as well. And this is one of Mum's favourite tunes. Welcome everyone, and thank you all for coming. I'll be back soon. Thank you all for coming. I'm Sharon Osborne, for those who don't know me. I think most of you would. I really appreciate everyone coming along, and Mum would be absolutely chuffed to see you all here, so thank you. I would like to announce this Much Love Club song, and it's from the Victor Harbour Football Club, of course, and I think Greg has got it ready to go. Thanks, guys. On behalf of my sisters Julie and Diane and my brother Michael, thank you all so much for being here today to celebrate the wonderful life of our mum, grandma to 18 and great-grandma to 20 3/4, with Caitlin and Micah's baby on the way. Mum was born on the 3rd of April 1936 in Victor Harbour. She didn't quite reach her 90th birthday, passing away on Sunday 29th of March. But we were fortunate to celebrate early with her at Julie's farm on the 21st of March. She spent the day surrounded by her beloved sister Elizabeth, family and friends, and she absolutely loved it. Mum and Dad's 70th wedding anniversary fell on the 31st of March, and we would like to think she simply couldn't wait, perhaps choosing to celebrate with Dad instead, sharing a piccolo of champagne for her and a glass of red for him. Mum grew up with her brothers Leonard and John and her sister Elizabeth, Auntie Liz, who's watching on the live stream today. Mum's childhood took a dramatic turn in 1951 when she was involved in a serious train accident while returning from a Girl Guide jamboree in Sydney. It was something that contributed to many of the health challenges she faced later in life. But despite that, her early years were full and happy. She played the piano, loved gymnastics, taught Sunday school, and enjoyed a fairly carefree life on Crozier Road in Victor Harbour. Grandma in particular ran a tight ship, a very tight ship, but it was grounded in strong values and family. Mum recently shared a couple of stories that gave us a laugh. When asked what she never told her parents, she admitted that she used to sneak a cigarette after school, then roll herself in a perfume bush on the way home to hide the smell. And when asked about the worst mischief she got up to, she confessed to walking and smooching on the beach with a boy, not Dad, after telling Grandma she was going to the library. She was meant to be home by 5 p.m, but after losing track of time, she sprinted home, brushing off sand as she went, only to be greeted by Grandma holding a stick. Mum was 15 at the time, and she never forgot that lesson. After leaving school, Mum worked at Toot Motors, where one of her many remarkable talents became obvious, her incredible memory. She could recall number plates, phone numbers, and of course birthdays. Thanks to Mum, none of us ever forgot an important date, and that's something we'll miss dearly. Mum met Dad thanks to a bit of matchmaking by Bob Bruce, and they married on March the 31st, 1956. Together they built not only a loving marriage, but a successful business, Golding Watchmakers and Jewellers, and Mum worked tirelessly alongside Dad while raising us kids. Later, to support the business, Mum worked at Dodd and Page. She loved her time there and spoke very fondly of Keith and Mary Dodd, dedicating over 25 years to them. Mum also taught gymnastics. Now, we kids didn't mind gymnastics. What we didn't like was the marching. Mum taught marching with great enthusiasm, and we hated it with equal enthusiasm. We couldn't wait to join Mr. Willits or Mr. Rose, who taught the fun stuff like the parallel bars and the beam. We're allowed only 2 out-of-school activities. One of them had to be gymnastics. Julie, Di and I chose netball. Michael chose football and snuck in motorbike riding. Mum was instrumental in the early days of the Gems Netball Club, which later became the Victor Harbour Netball Club. In later years, she scored for Di and me. Julie had, by that stage, defected to the Bays. Truth be known, we had her score so that she couldn't barrack too loudly. Mum had a deep love for the Victor Harbour Football Club, and we are so grateful to be holding this celebration here today. Thank you so much for the beautiful tribute on social media. Mum would have absolutely loved seeing that. She devoted over 40 years to the club and made history as its first female life member. She worked in the canteen, was part of the Ladies Auxiliary, and was famous for her butterfly cakes, made, as she would happily admit, from a White Wings packet mix, but finished with love, jam and fresh cream. Her ginger fluff sponge was another fave. The canteen profits might have been a little higher if she'd known we kids were helping ourselves to the lollies stored under the bed. Mum kept the canteen running like clockwork. She made sure everyone pulled their weight and that the hot dogs did not burst. It's fair to say Mum could be a little bossy, but always in the best possible way. Family holidays were a big part of Mum and Dad's life. They loved caravanning around the state, especially to the Riverland, creating many treasured memories with us. They also made regular trips to Darwin to visit Di, Russell and family, trips they truly cherished, and even managed some overseas adventures. Over the years, Mum and Dad formed many wonderful friendships. They shared great times, holidays, and plenty of lively card nights with dear friends, including the Halls and the Fishlocks. When they moved into Rosetta Village 24 years ago, they found yet another beautiful community and quickly formed close bonds again with Bob and Doreen Meyer, Carleen and Don, Pat and Colin, and Julie and Tony. Mum and Dad threw themselves into village life with enthusiasm. They were active members of the social club, and Mum soon became the go-to, no-nonsense bingo caller, a role she perfected years earlier at the footy club. She ran bingo with the same precision and quiet authority she brought to everything else, and everyone knew not to argue with her timing or her rules. The village parties became legendary. Di and I would make what we thought was a generous bowl of punch, only for it to disappear almost instantly, followed by beer and champagne. There was always laughter, storytelling, and plenty of jokes. They were truly happy, joy-filled times. Mum loved her Tuesday coffee mornings for over 20 years with Carleen and Doreen and anyone else she could rope in. In later years, Julie and Di helped her navigate the wheelchair and catch up on village news. Mum even went on her own when no one was around and befriended Carolyn at a planted coffee shop. The two of them became great friends. Mum's health wasn't great, especially in later years. She suffered from debilitating neck and back issues and was in constant pain. We often wondered how she managed to keep going, let alone remember everything and everyone while on so much pain medication. Over the past 15 or so years, she received home care from some truly wonderful carers, especially Margaret and Julie H. Mum thought the world of them. And to add, Julie, you were a constant for Mum and Dad, helping them nearly every day. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We spent years trying to convince Mum and Dad to move into care. They were struggling and we could see it, but they were absolutely determined to stay in their own home. Stubbornness runs deep in this family, and they proved it right to the end. When they finally agreed, it was only a matter of days before Dad fell ill again and needed respite. We were grateful they were able to move into Sandpiper Lodge in Goolwa, where they were cared for with such kindness and compassion. Sadly, Dad was only there for 4 weeks before he passed away, just 3 days after Mum arrived there. It's hard to believe that it's only been 5 months since we lost him. We certainly weren't prepared to lose Mum so soon after, but knowing her with that strong-willed, determined streak she carried all her life, we're sure she simply wanted to be with him. For us, it truly feels like the end of an era, something each of us has been reflecting on in our own way. Mum and Dad certainly raised strong and determined children, and not by accident. They taught us resilience, the same way they taught us everything else, by example. We watched Mum push through pain that would have stopped most people in their tracks, and we watched Dad work tirelessly, quietly, and with unwavering commitment to his family and community. They didn't sit us down and give speeches about perseverance. They simply lived it every single day. And because of that, we learned to stand on our own 2 feet. We learned to work hard, to show up, to keep going even when life gets difficult. We learned to look after each other, to pitch in, to do what needs to be done without waiting to be asked. Those lessons shaped us as adults and as parents, and now as grandparents. And it's something we hope we're passing on to our own children and grandchildren. Not just the determination, but the kindness, the loyalty, the sense of family. The understanding that you don't give up on people you love, that you help where you can, that you stay connected, that you keep the family strong. Mum and Dad could see us today, all 40-something of us, spread across generations, still laughing together, still supporting each other. They would be proud. Proud that the values they lived didn't stop with them. Proud that their strength didn't fade. Proud that their determination is alive and well in the next generations. and we will keep it going because that is their legacy, and it's one we're honoured to carry forward. Mum was content at Sandpiper, but her health declined over the past couple of months. Michael stayed by her side for 4 days before she passed, and Julie, Di and I joined him for the final 2. Thank you, Michael. You shared a very special bond with Mum. We take comfort in knowing she is no longer in pain and that she looks so peaceful in the end. Mum lived a full, rich life, rich in love, family, friendship and service to others. She will be deeply missed, but her spirit, her strength and her love will stay with us forever. Rest easy, Mum. And now, that I got through that, honouring Mum's very specific request and causing Michael deep dismay, we present, as Russell called it, South Australia's national anthem.
Still.
Can I see you read it, bud?
We go back now? Oops. Oh, I don't know that we need it again. Especially the way they're going at the moment. I'd like to see if Kel and Jake would like to come up.
Today we gather not just to say goodbye, but to celebrate the life of our beautiful grandma, a woman who filled our lives in so many quiet, meaningful ways. Grandma had the most remarkable memory. She never forgot a birthday, an anniversary, or a moment that mattered to her, or someone she loved. Somehow she always remembered the little details that made each of us feel special. She took a genuine interest in our lives, asking what we were up to, how we were going, and truly listening to the answer. It wasn't just small talk with Grandma. She made you feel seen and important. She was also someone who told it like it was. She didn't believe in sugarcoating things and spoke with honesty and clarity, but even her most direct words came from a place of wanting the best for us. The honesty was her way of guiding us and helping us grow. Grandma was selfless in the way that she gave her time and energy, never expecting anything in return, whether it was a small gesture or something bigger. She was always there, thoughtful and generous. She always took an interest in everyone, and that extended to the partners of the cousins and making sure they all felt included. Some of my favourite memories are the simple ones. When we were younger, Grandma would always make sure we had ice cream with sprinkles after dinner, and she'd always have jars of bickies and sweets ready for us whenever we arrived. And of course, there was always the sneaky biscuit and lollies that she'd offer Emma and I when Mum and Dad weren't looking. A little secret we all happily kept. What we carry with us is not what she did, but how she made us feel. A sense of comfort, of being welcomed, and of knowing someone was always in your corner. Her life was a quiet example of honesty, strength, and generosity, values that we stay with us. Though our hearts ache in her absence, we know she hasn't really left us. She lives on in the way we look out for one another, in the little traditions we keep, and in the way we choose to live each day. Grandma, thank you for everything you gave us, your strength, your wisdom, and all of the small moments that meant so much to us. We will miss you. You are always and will always be so deeply loved.
Thank you. And I just wanted to... I'm Kel. I'm Todd and Julie's second daughter, and I'd like to read a bit about Grandma today, but I'd also like to just sort of echo Auntie Sharon's words around us showing values through our family, and I truly feel like when we're together, it just feels like a big giant family loving on each other. So we're going to keep doing that in honour of Grandma and Grandpa, and then our parents as well. So thank you. Thank you for asking me to share at this important celebration of Grandma's life. It's an honour to reflect on the memories we made, the people she loved, and the stories we will carry with us. Grandma's story began in 1936, and in 2026, she leaves behind a life that was full, long, and meaningful, almost making it 90 years earthside. I feel so grateful to have learned from Grandma simply by watching her as I grow up. She was a hard worker, very strong and so dedicated that sometimes we didn't get to see her as much as we'd like. But the things she gave her time to truly mattered to her, and that says a lot about the kind of person that she was. I remember Grandma being dedicated to her work, the family business, and of course this Victor Harbour Football Club, juggling all of these important communities and those within it. I am sure I'm true in saying that Grandma's number one priority were her 4 beautiful children, a family of 6 that then welcomed partners, that grew as 18 grandchildren joined, and of course, after this, the 20 great-grandchildren that followed, with another on the way. Somehow, she clearly carried all of us with her. With an amazing memory, which you've heard about, she remembered not only our names, but the names of our children and then our pets. She never forgot a birthday, always giving us thoughtful cards with kind and personal handwritten messages. Some of my favourite memories of Grandma were the sleepovers at her house, with the pantry recently being stocked with Fruit Loops just for our stay. Her home was full of little spaces that sparked our imaginations, places for games, for laughter, even for practising our dance routines, and competitive games of Red Rover all over. And of course, there was a little bar in the corner of the more formal lounge area where no one would really look for us, but this is where we would imagine up some very inventive wine bars and restaurants, as well as sneaking a lot of chocolate. Grandma also introduced us to the simple joys in life, like her famous frog in ponds. I didn't even know such thing existed until she made them, and now I will attempt at 41 my first frog in a pond in Grandma's memory. I'd like to think that Grandma is now resting with the loved ones who went before her. Maybe she's sitting in a bar, sharing a drink, telling stories about her 4 children, their children, and their children's children, because that's who she was. She held on to stories as she held on to people, especially her own children. At the end of the day, it's those stories, those memories, and the love we share that stays with us. So, if there's something we can take from Grandma's life, from this season in grief, it is this. Tell the people around you that you love them. Tell them why. Because between the day we are born and the day we leave this world... Oh dear, sorry. It's often the love that we give and receive that truly defines how we lived. Grandma, thank you for showing us how you love. Rest easy.
Thanks, Cal. Thanks, Jake. And now we have Zoe and Leo, who are going to say a few words.
Do I introduce who I am? Oh, okay. I'm Zoe.
I'm Leo.
I am Nick and Lisa's daughter and Nanny Shaz's and Pop's granddaughter. I don't know, so.
I'm Loz's son, Leo.
Alright. Ready? Today we come together to remember our great-grandma, one of the strongest and most incredible women we have ever known. She meant so much to all of us. She was someone who lived with love, strength, and a bit of sass. She always had something to say, whether it was sharing a story, having a laugh, or even a bit of a complaint about the cold food or nursing home staff. That was just who she was. She was chatty, funny, and never afraid to speak her mind. And that's something we will always remember and smile about. She had such a caring heart, and she always took interest in everyone's life. She remembered every single one of her child, grandchild's, and great-grandchild's birthdays, which just showed how much she valued family. She would always ask how everyone was doing, making sure she stayed connected with each of us in our own way.
She also had a playful and warm spirit. There are so much memories that reflect her kindness and sense of humour, moments that remind us of not just who she is, but who she was and how she made people feel. She was strong, loving, and truly one of a kind. She created a family that will carry her forward, and her presence will always be felt in each of us. We will miss her deeply, but also so lucky to have her in our lives. Without her, none of us would be here. Her love and legacy will never fade. We love you, Grandma, and we'll never forget you.
Thanks, Zoe and Leo. It's lovely. So thank you again. Our gratitude goes to Roxy for putting together the slideshow that you'll be seeing soon, and the photo tribute to Carla and Greg from South Coast Funerals, who've been nothing but thoughtful and supportive through this whole process. Thanks again to the Victor Footy Club for allowing us to hold this here. Thank you very much to Kylie and the beautiful tribute and social media. And if you haven't already done so, please sign the memorial book. That was Diane's instructions to me. Or Julie's, sorry, one of them. One of them. And I think this is ending the formalities. Thank you again for coming along to celebrate Mum's life. And this is one of Mum's favourite tunes.
There
sorry, and I've been told to say, please help yourself at the bar. and that is the end of the formal proceedings. Thank you.